Hey, welcome everybody. I haven't done a video for a while, so I thought I'd do one. It's Friday night, so why not? I just thought I'd do a short one to show you what you could do with ChatGPT. Or I was curious as to whether I could use ChatGPT to create models, simulation models of biochemical networks. And so I've been playing around with it, and it works actually quite well. So I'm going to give you a put in a prompt here. So by the way, I'm using Chat 3.5 because I don't have a subscription. So this is just the free version. So what I've asked it to do here is write an antimony script to represent a linear chain of two reactions. Now, those of you who don't know, antimony script is our human readable format for representing biochemical networks. It's SPML compatible. We have a website called Make SPML, which lets you convert between the two. There are also Python packages that you can use to do the conversions as well. So I'm asking it directly to write an antimony script for this. And I'm being rather specific here because I notice this is quite variable sometimes. I've asked it to use mass action kinetics. I've also asked it not to provide any simulation code because I've noticed it gets a little bit over enthusiastic and starts also writing code to run the model, which I don't want to do. I also noticed that sometimes it misses out the initial conditions, so I've asked it to make sure that it adds the initial conditions. Okay, so let's run this, see what happens. Here we go. Okay, that's nice. Okay, that's correct. So I'll wait for it to finish. Okay, so here we go. 3 species, 2 reactions, because I asked it to do two reactions. Linear chain, which this is A to B, B to C, that's linear. Mass action kinetics, that's fine. It's picked irreversible kinetics in this case. It's named the reactions, given me some initial conditions, and initialize the rate constants. If you look down here, though, it tells you one thing that's not quite right. It says you can use this antimony script as an input to a simulation tool like Copasi. Copasi, it's a tool written by one of my colleagues, doesn't accept antimony. It will accept SPML, though. However, it is right when it says use tellurium, and tellurium is our Python package, and that does accept antimony directly. Okay. Now, what I'm going to ask it next is to add some simulation code to this to see what it does. So I'm going to ask it to embed this model in a tellurium script so I can run it as a real simulation. Okay. So let's run that. So I say add this model to a tellurium script to run a simulation. So let's see what it does. Off it goes. Okay, that looks okay so far. Okay. Okay, so I've seen this. Okay, I see what it's done. So it's imported the tellurium package. Great. It's got the model there in a string. It's loading the model. Great. But now it's doing some unnecessary initialization because there are defaults that handle this. But the rest of it, it's got this right fine. It's running the simulation. Aha, it's got this not quite right. It should be r.plot, not it should be model.plot, not oh, I see what it's doing. Aha, okay. It's using an alternative plotting function we have and passing in the model function. Okay. I'm going to ask it again to do that, and I'm going to ask it to simplify it and keep it simple. Let's see what it does. Okay, let's try this now. There it goes. Oh, this is excellent. Okay, yeah. Now it's done a good job. Okay, so it's imported the package as before, got the model. Now it goes straight in. Now it loads the model as before, but now it goes straight into running the simulation. And then it uses the right plot, which is the simpler one to use. Well, that's great. So just to show you, I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to go to my Python my Python IDE I have here. I'm going to cut and paste it into there. Let's run it, see what happens. Bingo, and it worked. So seems to work fine. You just have to be rather specific in what you tell it to do. Otherwise, it takes liberties. Let's try one other thing just to see how this goes. I'm going to ask it to, actually, one thing before we try that, I'm going to go, I've never tried this, but I'm going to ask it to give me the SBML. Give me the SBML string for the model. Let's just see what it does out of curiosity. Okay, it's generating the SBML. That's amazing. Looks reasonable. Oh, it's missed out the compartment though. It's got the species, got the list of reactions. Oh, it's done something rather. Oh, I see. It's done something wrong. I see what it's up to. Not sure if that's correct actually. It's got the list of parameters. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that is not correct. If I remember right. But if I say your SBML is not correct, you missed out the compartment. That's what it does then. I apologize. Okay, it's out of the compartment now. It's got the species, list of reactions, all two of them, correct rate laws. Then it's done this strange initial condition. I think this is, not sure if this is valid actually. I don't believe it is. The parameters are okay, but let me say, you got the initial assignment wrong. They should not be there. Assignment wrong. They should not be there. So I've never tried this before. Yeah, I apologize. Compartment, list of species, list of reactions. They look okay. Then the list, oh, great. Okay. Looks okay. As always with chatgpt, you have to watch it. You have to be quite specific in your prompts, and you have to double check what it does. But it can be a good assistant if you know what you're doing. It seems that it can be a reasonable assistant for helping you do your work. Let's try one last thing. I've got here just a bigger model. I've asked it to produce a model that's 6 reactions long without simulation code. I'll ask you to use mass action kinetics. Let's see what it does. Okay, we have 6 reactions. See, it forgot to give initial conditions, so you have to tell it to add those initial conditions afterwards. But let me see. It's got the network. Okay, A to B, B to C, D, E, F. Yeah, the network is correct. The rate laws are all correct. So anyway, it shows you what's possible with chatgpt. You just have to be careful. It can give you shortcuts, but verify before you use any of the material that chatgpt gives you. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks very much.